Would you like to know how to get a purebred dog for less than half the cost of buying from a breeder? Stay tuned and I'll show you how to do that. Gracie is a 15-pound purebred schnauzer that I paid about $200 for, and that included that she had her shots and that she was spayed. Gracie's story begins here. She was rescued from another state by a nonprofit organization, the Colorado Miniature Schnauzer Rescue, which is in a suburb of Denver. It's run by a small group of volunteers. I submitted an application and Susan Lemanek contacted me. She brought 4 dogs to my home the next day. My story is different than most adoptions because I picked a dog who needed a lot of special care due to emotional and physical trauma. Gracie was the smallest and definitely the most fragile of all the dogs. She sat with her head down and shook from head to toe. My heart went out to her. She seemed so lost in a great big world. Susan told me that of all the dogs she'd brought, she was the most damaged from the abuse. It was obvious by her sagging belly that she had just recently had a litter of puppies. She was 3 years old and had already given birth to at least 5 litters of puppies and possibly 6. She had not been socialized at all and was scared of anyone who came near. She got used to our home by sitting under a sideboard table on her pillow with her back to us, staring at the wall. I want to assure you that most dogs in shelters and rescues do not have the emotional damage that Gracie has. None of the other dogs Susan introduced me to had those problems. Some shelter dogs have been surrendered because of a change or death in the family. Some are left pets who've been lost due to a hurricane or flood, and others have been lost for no apparent reason. Many have already been house trained and all have been thoroughly checked out by a veterinarian and are up to date on shots and spayed or neutered to prevent overpopulation. Some nonprofit rescues allow you to volunteer as a foster parent. I asked if I could be a foster parent to Gracie to give her and me a chance to be together and see if she could bond and be socialized. As a foster parent, any medical bills for conditions your new pet might have are paid by the rescue. You'll be given a certain amount of time to make a decision to adopt that pet. I adopted after only 2 months. I saw small changes in Gracie's behavior that gave me hope. She bonded casually with our border collie, who didn't quite know what to make of her behavior, but he did his best to teach her the ropes at our house. In time, Gracie began to understand that this was her permanent home and that we loved her, we were nice to her, and she got regular meals and care. She perked up and started learning commands rather than just copying what the other dog was doing. Since then, she's learned so many new things and is a wonderful pet. Now she follows me everywhere I go and communicates with me by looks and sounds, and we're best buddies. We take her everywhere we go, as you'll see in some of our travel videos. If you're not convinced yet, here are some good reasons to rescue a pet. You save 2 lives. Not only the life of the dog you adopted, but you free up space for another dog in that shelter. It's estimated that over 2.7 million animals are euthanized in the United States every year, and most of them are healthy and treatable and could have been adopted into a home. Secondly, you save money if you're looking for a particular breed. And third, you can help put abusive puppy mills out of business. And again, I'm not talking about responsible breeders. They are not puppy mills. From my own experience, having rescued dogs over my lifetime and also buying a puppy from a breeder, you see a definite difference in the rescue dog's understanding. He or she have experienced discomfort, loneliness, hunger, fear, and sadness. And when adopted, they so deeply appreciate the kindness of your family and being loved. And in return, they give 100% back with love and loyalty. These animals do not take anything for granted. I'd also like to squelch some fears about rescuing a dog. Some have been told, or maybe they just assume, that dogs in shelters or rescues have behavioral problems. But shelters and rescues diligently work to socialize the dog and watch for any behavioral problems. They tell you of all the history that they have discovered about the dog before you adopt. Another fear is dogs are sick and that's why they're in the shelter. Dogs have veterinary care while in the rescue or the shelter. They are not adopted with unknown illnesses. Another misconception that causes fear is that their family couldn't keep them because they were untrainable. I don't believe any dog is untrainable at any age. Most dogs are loving and loyal and live to please. They very much want to learn and please you. And the last fear is you cannot change their name because that would confuse the dog. And that's funny because I've changed the name of every dog I've ever rescued. Use it often, and they learn their new name in about a week, if not sooner. My last tip is ask a lot of questions. Visit the dog several times if necessary. Take them to the vet immediately to get your own health check if you wish. And by that time, you should have a good idea if this dog's behavior and energy match that of your family's style. I hope you'll consider adoption from a rescue. I know you'll agree with me on how rewarding it is for you and your new pet. I've put a link below for Colorado Miniature Schnauzer Rescue for you to go see the dogs that are ready for adoption right now on their website. If you don't see the dog you want, check back often, as new dogs come in often. That holds true for any specific breed rescue all over the country. I hope you've enjoyed our time together. Please be sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you'll be notified of all new videos. I'd like to hear about your rescue story. Please put your comments below. I'll look forward to reading every one of them. I'll see you in 2 weeks.